You're not confused. You've never been confused. You already know what the answer is. You just don't want to stand next to it. You tell yourself you're still thinking, still weighing options, still trying to understand how you feel. That's not honesty. That's delay. Confusion feels passive. Fear does not. So you rename fear into something softer. You say you're unsure. What you mean is you're scared of what happens after clarity. Because clarity removes excuses. It removes waiting. It removes the story where nothing is your fault yet. If you were truly confused, you would be searching. Instead, you're circling, replaying the same thoughts, asking the same questions, hoping the answer changes if you stare at it long enough. It won't. You already know which direction scares you more. That's the direction you keep avoiding. You know what needs to end. You know what needs to be said. You know what needs to be chosen. And you also know the cost, not the imagined cost, the real one, the discomfort, the loss of identity, the moment where you can no longer say, "I didn't know." Right now, confusion protects you. It gives you a place to hide, a place where nothing moves and nothing collapses, but it's not neutral. It's not harmless. Every day you stay here, something inside you weakens, quietly, without drama. You feel it when things that used to bother you don't anymore. When your standards lower without permission. When you stop expecting much from yourself, you call that being realistic. It's not realism. It's resignation. You are not stuck. You are paused on purpose. Because movement would force you to confront who you've been pretending to be. You say you're waiting for clarity, but clarity already arrived. You just didn't like its tone. It didn't feel kind. It didn't offer reassurance. It didn't promise a smooth transition. It simply told you the truth, and the truth felt heavy. So you put it down. You didn't forget it. You just placed it somewhere you wouldn't have to touch every day. But it's still there. That low pressure in your chest. That tension when certain thoughts come up. That irritation when someone says what you refuse to admit. That's not confusion reacting. That's recognition. You're not afraid of being wrong. You're afraid of being right. Because being right would mean you waited too long. It would mean some doors closed while you were figuring things out. It would mean you were complicit in your own stagnation. And that's harder to accept than uncertainty. So you stay undecided. You stay vague. You stay in conversations that go nowhere, in routines that drain you slowly. You call it patience, but patience has direction. What you're doing does not. You know the difference. If someone forced you to choose today, you would know what to do. Instantly. No confusion, no hesitation. That alone should tell you everything. You don't lack insight. You lack willingness. Willingness to be uncomfortable. Willingness to disappoint. Willingness to let an old version of yourself collapse. You are protecting an image, an identity that feels familiar, even if it feels empty. And emptiness feels safer than risk, because emptiness doesn't demand courage. It only demands endurance, so you endure, day after day, calling it temporary. But temporary has a way of becoming permanent when fear is involved. You don't need more time. Time won't change the answer. You don't need more information. You already have enough. What you're avoiding is the moment where you stop asking questions and start taking responsibility. Responsibility for choosing. Responsibility for consequences. Responsibility for no longer being able to blame confusion. That's the real threat. Because once you admit you know, you can't unknow it. You can't hide behind maybe. And maybe has been your shelter. You've built a comfortable cage out of uncertainty. Soft walls, no sharp edges, but also no forward movement. And something in you is tired of pretending this is fine. You feel it late at night, when distractions fade, when the noise settles. That quiet discomfort isn't anxiety. It's honesty trying to speak without permission. You keep telling yourself you'll face it later, when you're stronger, when things calm down. But courage doesn't arrive first. It follows action. And you know that too. The truth is simple. That's why it scares you. If it were complicated, you could keep hiding. But it isn't. You know what needs to change. You know what needs to stop. You know what you've outgrown. And you know exactly why you haven't moved. So stop calling it confusion. Call it what it is. Fear of the life that begins when you stop lying to yourself.